2 more sets left for Quake Pro League today, and they're big ones too at ZSX, as we're going to head over to EU for the final 2 matches of the day. And I feel like we should add a little something something. What do you think?
You just want to get rid of me, right?
Not quite yet. I still want you here, but I think I want to add a little bit of DJ Wheat to the equation here, as he should hop on and join us for these final 2.
I can accept that.
Oh, they didn't put me between you two.
Well, there goes the joke. That was
I
terrible.
know your joke's blown, and I don't know how I'm gonna have you two behave if I'm all the way on the
I'm
right
so
side.
sad.
But
I literally
what's up,
wrote that, like,
gentlemen?
for 3 months. Nothing much. A lot of Quake action. It's good to have you on board. How are you?
I'm great. Been watching the games all morning. And I have to make one comment. So watching that game 3 with Rafa, one of my favorite book series is Stormlight Archive, and they have this concept called the thrill, and it's this sort of like euphoria that you get when you're in combat, and then you just have perfection all the time, and that's what I imagine that we saw the Quake thrill right there. The flow, whatever you want to call it. It was beast. And frankly, like, Rafa's the only one who's consistently doing that. It's pretty amazing to see.
Absolutely, yeah. Very grown accustomed to just seeing Rafa just excel and get better and better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nuts, and it's always scary to see. I mean, the dude is lethal in the server. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes me shudder just watching it. So poor Americans. At least the EUs only have to experience it once a season.
Yeah, maybe they get a little bit lucky. But COOLLERZ versus Wenger is going to be on the plate for now. How do you guys feel about this? We've seen this matchup time and time again, but it never gets old.
COOLLERZ
doesn't. Whoa, dang! Wow, I didn't know we had Adrian on the Quake broadcast.
He's going to show up to your house.
That
probably.
Joke aside, we've talked about old blood, new blood a lot, and the Maestro folks are just right. They are pumping with the new blood, and these 2 players, Wenger and Razy, that we're going to see today in the featured matches, both incredible. Both giving players of all types all sorts of problems, and I'm just excited to watch these 2 matches because I think we have 2 phenomenal matches. I kind of put the new blood on with the maybe 1 step advantage here. I just they've been playing so well over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I have to side with Wheat on this one. Like, Wenger's just got so much momentum recently and just keeps progressing, which is also pretty scary. So I'm going to side with Wenger as well.
So then we'll say blind going in 2-1 to Wenger or 3-0 without seeing the picks and bans yet.
I want to see them first, but yeah.
I'll go out on a limb
right?
here, and I'll say if we see the same COOLLERZ that we saw in the past couple weeks, I'm definitely Wenger has got my pick, right? I mean, we know the capabilities of COOLLERZ, but I don't know. It just he's not been all there, and I think that is going to ultimately determine. I think if COOLLERZ's there, we have at least a 2-1 for Wenger, but potential win there. If COOLLERZ's not, I think Wenger, who has obviously been practicing a lot and taking this very, very seriously, has the upper hand.
Well, COOLLERZ's been the king. He's raised the belt before, but we'll see. I think you guys might be onto something, but let's take a look at the picks and bans and see if that sways your thoughts on the situation at all. As it looks like Corrupted Keep, Blood Covenant, Molten Falls, and the picks are pretty spicy. Sorbet versus Strog on Corrupted Keep, Anarchy versus Slash on Blood Covenant, and Visor Ranger on Molten.
I like the picks across the board for both these players, and they definitely favor, obviously, the way they each want to play it, but nothing too unbalanced in any of these matchups. Obviously, starting Corrupted Keeps, COOLLERZ gets his Solag so he can take the aggression to Wenger. And for me, when COOLLERZ's playing his best, it's when he's in your face and he's being hyper aggressive and taking away the map from you. And that's what Solag, as we saw in the hands of Rafa, can allow you to do. So I'm pretty excited by that. But then moving on to Blood Covenant, that's a really nice matchup. Anarchy versus Slash, a lot of speed.
Yeah, I completely agree, ZSX, in terms of like nothing here that sort of tips the scales. It just comes down to kind of the individual player skill at this point. Some pretty you know, I think pretty typical matchups that we'd seen here, which is good, right? Because
Yeah.
today the better Quake player is 100% going to win. It's just a matter of who's going to walk away with that little bit of extra cash this week.
So then now seeing picks, bans, maps, still 2-1 Wenger? Doesn't sway you guys at all?
I think 3-0 Wenger personally. I think
Whoa.
to Wheat's point, like Cooler just he's lost his mojo a little bit recently. Like he'll get it back at some point, but not now. And Wenger's been on the upturn. Then I think I would go 3-0.
If I want Cooler to show up, believe you me, I want this to be 2-1 Cooler, because if it is, these matches are going to be freaking insane. But you know, I'll stick with the 2-1.
Yeah. Okay, well, I personally just want ZSX to get out. So DJ Wheat, may I have this dance?
Yes, 1000%. I've been waiting all of middle school for you to ask that question.
It's been a dream of mine. Let me have this, CSX, okay? Let me have this.
I mean, I'm waiting for production to get rid of me because this is just holding up
Aren't
your
we
little
all?
love story going
Aren't we
on.
all?
Get rid of me!
Oh boy.
Well,
there we go.
There
Thanks.
it is. Okay, so it's going to be you and I for this dance here. Best of 3, Cooler versus Wenger, Sorlag versus Strog on CK. I'm excited. I haven't given my thoughts. I think you are right. I think it is going to be a Wenger situation. I would love to see Cooler show up and see something close, but I think maybe a 2-1 to Wenger. I think Cooler's going to get one, but maybe the last map is just kind of go his way. But 2-1 Wenger, I think.
I agree. You know, 40, I think this is one that we are going to kind of know within the first map. Right. I feel like you just kind of get a sense, you know, a player like Wenger, if he is performing really well in map 1, he's just going to carry that momentum. So, you know, the big question is like, what do we see out of this first map? So take us away.
And this is going to be it right now, live on map number 1, Cooler versus Wenger on Corrupted Keep. And we're going to start off on the Maestro boy. Wenger starting off with a little bit of damage right off the bat with that machine gun. And that's going to be huge against the Sorlag, especially keeping that machine gun damage, heavy machine gun damage specifically, up as much as you can across these wide, long angles here.
Yep. Already seeing come out. We see Peeker come out and do a little bit of damage there, get some hits as well. More importantly, Wenger kind of has Cooler stuck back here, and I'm surprised he actually let him out there. Does finally come after him with that LG and backs off just a little bit, because Wenger down to 38 points of health. Cooler actually with the better stack. There is the Mega, and the Heavy is going to be picked up by Cooler. So Cooler actually getting the better of that exchange. LG battle again here in the light room, and it looks like the first frag is going to go to Cooler. 40, I couldn't have called it.
And I'm pretty sure Cooler heard us, and he's like, I hate all of you. I'm going to prove you all wrong. And that's a good start for Cooler on this map here, 1 minute in. Needs to be really careful here around the corner as Wenger holding that middle ground. Cooler does have Acid Spit up, and paired with that shotgun, it's going to be absolutely devastating up close. Machine gun is out, and Sorbet is going to be a bigger target, so he's actually going to opt to go grab the Heavy and just play it safe.
Wait, he knows he's inside the Heavy room, looking for an opportunity to hit him as he comes out of the portal. It'll be picked up, and Cooler knows exactly where he is. Wenger knows exactly where he is, and he's going to come back around. So Cooler is up 1. It's going to try to find an opportunity to come out here. LG battle to the light. And Cooler with only 34 points of health. Got to be careful here. He's going to just go for it. Shakes off of the whatever was on his mouse right there. And somehow, oh my gosh, and the suicide. And he's still going to go after him after picking up that Mega. Doesn't hurt that frag yet. I thought he was going to get it coming out of that portal, but unfortunate for Wenger and great for COOLLERZ. He's now got that 2 frag lead and make it 3.
And Cooler fears nothing here as Wenger with the unfortunate suicide dropping into the lava. That's too hot to handle. Cooler up 3, showing the world why this may be Cooler's kingdom here. Still pretty weak, needs to be careful. Does have Acid Spit up again. Good rocket damage through the telly, and Peeker comes out, and that's going to cripple Cooler. 44 points of health. Needs to be very careful. Almost falls down. Untimely, but does grab the Heavy, so he's a little bit better than he was, but still very dangerous position. There's the rocket swap. Is it going to be enough? And It is into the shotgun. 1 HP clutch, as Cooler says, pull.
Okay, now I'm excited. dude. I mean, you know, I was excited for this matchup to begin with, but we are seeing, right, the cooler full Gosu right now. Wenger is going to pick up the first frag, but, you know, this is the cooler I was hoping that was really going to show up to play. Solid decisions, some great aggression. It works out for him. He's up 3-0, but now we've got Wenger with a little bit of control. So we'll have to see this great player, how he's going to be able to try to regain control in a couple frags.
Absolutely, and right off the bat, COOLLERZ going to slow things down. He wants to lie in wait, and that rocket's going to give him the information. The follow-up rocket from COOLLERZ not going to be enough. Does throw out the acid spit to try and control that territory near the rockets. The LG so strong, that rocket is even stronger. Just a tickle will do it, and he gets it right before COOLLERZ escapes. Does steal the heavy at the very least.
He stole the heavy at the cost of a frag, and he's still up by 2. Wenger is going to get that mega. COOLLERZ makes his way over to the heavy side just to kind of rearm here. But obviously a lot of time. In fact, it's still about 10 seconds away. So, you know, we're going to kind of split the map once again with Wenger. He's got a little bit of work to do here to bring this back up. But this game seems like it's been going on for a lot longer than it has. Only 4 minutes of rocket battle in the middle. COOLLERZ falls down from that one, takes some LG damage. Thought he might go down to the machine gun, but the mega is there to bail him out. There is another light, and now we're going to have battle over by heavy.
And that tick damage did so much over time. And the peeker play right in COOLLERZ's face. And sometimes you just got to slap Sorlag in the face with your peeker. I don't know what to say. 3-2. Wenger looking real strong right now. There's the LG as COOLLERZ just jumps in on that heavy and gets that frag back. Sorlag so thick and now has both items, and this is super dangerous for Wenger.
It's super dangerous. In fact, I thought we were going to see even more aggression coming out of there from COOLLERZ, but you know, he took it easy there, and probably the right idea. He's still up by 2 and has an opportunity to widen this gap. Now we're going to have a fight down by mega or heavy once again. LG comes out. COOLLERZ easily takes that frag shotgun. Not going to be enough to get it done for Wenger. And now as we look over on COOLLERZ, looking nice. He's immediately, I mean, I love this aggression that we're seeing. Honestly, this is how I feel like Quake should be played. That's not always the smartest move, right? You got to play Quake with your brain a lot. But I also love it when it's just played with the heart, and that's what we're seeing from COOLLERZ here today.
And machine gun raging on as Wenger will get that frag. And I think you're right. It's definitely more high-flying action right now than we might be used to, especially after seeing kind of cerebral plays from Rafa. But plus forward, and that LG is going to stop that plus forward dead in its tracks, but the Mega's going to be waiting for him. Also has spit, and again, the shotgun, and that's probably the most deadly combo in this game with Sorlag.
Yeah, and it's we've already seen it kind of come out in this matchup. I expect it more too here, especially considering the 2 focused areas of fighting that we often get around the mega and around the heavy. Peeker is up, but it doesn't matter. The rocket's getting drained down, and it is going to be oh my God, the spit manages to take him out, and this lead actually widens for COOLLERZ despite just getting rocket after rocket dropped on his head. But there we go. There we go.
Yep, he wanted that frag. He smelled it, and he might still get it because Wenger's so weak off of the spawn as COOLLERZ pushing in. That rocket almost gives him the propulsion forward to get across the door frame, but yeah, COOLLERZ looking very strong. Fearless, too. So that rocket will miss, almost gets telefrag. That was so close, and he still might drop here as Wenger looking for it. He just needs one shotgun blast, but the LG instead.
That should not have happened. I feel like every wrong thing that could have happened there for COOLLERZ, what happened, all those shots missing. He had his opponent down very, very low, coming out of the curved hallway with the cooldown vials. Like he should have had that frag. I'm sure COOLLERZ a little bit upset with himself on that one too. But Wenger now once again has an opportunity to try to tie this game up. Peeker's going to come out, does do about 47 damage there, and now just using this high ground to just hop shot COOLLERZ. Mega is up, grabbed by COOLLERZ, but the LG from Wenger, it is locked in, and COOLLERZ left with no armor stack at all. But look at him, still a good 40.
Just trying to do as much damage as he can. He says, if I'm going down with a fight. COOLLERZ getting the 50 shard, as is Wenger. Stacks about even, but the heavy will go in Wenger's favor, and he's going to get to Mega just in time, and the LG is brutal. COOLLERZ riding the lightning right there. Even spit damage on, and this Mega is going to go to Wenger as COOLLERZ doesn't want it to happen for free, but look at that stack. Even after a little bit of machine gun damage, Wenger is so strong and can
Oh,
aggressive grade
wow.
another one.
Wow. I wonder if that just must have been very, very tilt-worthy when he just got held up by the LG coming out of that teleporter. That was insane. You know, the follow-up frag, and now the confidence that is in vengeur's LG right now is just sick. It's like it works in every situation. Just watch. And now he's up by 2. And you know, unfortunate because what we've seen out of COOLLERZ so far has been great. Not out of it yet, but Wenger has turned it up big time.
Definitely. 2 frag lead here, a minute 30 left. All the pressure's on COOLLERZ. And, you know, I'm a dork. I've played a lot of competitive games, but there's no better feeling than just hearing that purr of the LG when you put the beat on your opponent. Nothing beats it here. 3 frag lead in favor of Wenger, 8-5, 1 minute 20. And COOLLERZ has to start aggressing and taking these suboptimal fights like this one. And he's going to take 3 rockets to the face piece. And that'll be 4 frags in favor of Wenger. And this one might be done, Wheat.
You know, with 1 minute left, if that rocket would have like blasted Wenger off the map there, like maybe there would have been a chance. But yeah, I think at this point, especially the 5 frag lead, that is definitely it's going to be tough to do. But I mean, this game, that was the COOLLERZ that I want to watch play Quake for sure. You know, quite impressive with that aggression. Obviously, it doesn't always work out, but I'm just a big fan of that style of play. Obviously, we still got 2 more maps to go, but both players looking phenomenal. You know, 5-10, but I would say this game was a little bit closer than the score actually reveals. The opening 5-6 minutes and that back and forth was quite exciting.
Absolutely. This is going to be a great start to the series. Hopefully a lot more of this close kind of brawling action here. As Wenger wants more, so does COOLLERZ. He wants to add more, at least a little bit, and he will. 6-10 looks a little bit better as he won't rocket jumping playing until the buzzer here, and that's what you like to see. Could he get one more? Just missing.
Almost. So yeah, I mean, you know, COOLLERZ had some very aggressive moments that played out quite nicely there, and you know, for him, I think the one big turning point, actually the 2 big turning point, 40, were probably COOLLERZ coming out of that upper teleporter and just getting LG magneted by Wenger. And then the other where he was on the top area, he kind of had that vertical advantage. He was waiting for the heavy to spawn, but he just couldn't get that last little bit of damage off on Wenger. You know, we saw him try with the rocket. We saw the tri-bolt come out. The little bit of LG, but Wenger was just kind of dancing around in all the right spots. And meanwhile, Wenger from you know, the same position was just dropping damage everywhere. And I feel like had that exchange gone differently and had he actually picked up a frag there, this still would have been COOLLERZ map. But Wenger played very intelligently, put it all together, and you know, definitely deserved that map win for sure.
Absolutely. It's very scary to go through that tele to LG because it is kind of a death sentence depending on where your opponent is, and Wenger punishing that appropriately, making him ride the lightning. But yeah, I think it's kind of the COOLLERZ of old that we've seen, right? Really aggressive, good play, and just kind of fearless at times. And again, it didn't work out this specific map, but I would love to see him kind of come out swinging with that on Blood Covenant. It's going to be high flying, Anarchy versus Slash, so I expect to see a lot of the same kind of style in terms of speedy action as we take a look at the damage numbers and items. COOLLERZ actually doing a little bit better on the heavies. Mega's going in terms of Wenger, but the damage, I mean, the damage has to be nuts for Wenger, especially going against that sword lag. But just wow, 1.6k damage differential. Putting out the damage, the lightning gun doing work, and just a really, really good series of plays from Wenger to kind of take that lead and fight back because COOLLERZ came out swinging.
Yeah, he really did, and all those heavies on COOLLERZ side, I think, came in that first 5 minutes. So it's like every heavy on Wenger side basically represents a frag, right? It was either he clearly had control or he was able to get a frag on COOLLERZ when it spawned. So really interesting matchup there. I think we saw the power of both of these players, 40, right? We saw Wenger, who definitely has the aim, who definitely has the smart. He can kind of turn it on when he needs to. And then we saw sort of a classic cooler, one who made me fall in love with Quake time and time and time again. So good to see. I'm definitely excited for game 2 here as we move on to Blood Covenant. And with Wenger up 1, everyone's predictions, we're still gonna have to see what happens here. But I think we've seen a cooler that can definitely take a map.
It could still happen, and the addition of the rail, we should not skip out on that, as the rail for
Right.
Wenger could be spicy. Wenger has hit some nuts rails before. He's not afraid to play super flicky. He's not, especially with this champ slash, that he can be speedy and open up these angles that you just wouldn't even expect your opponent to be at. So I'm really looking forward to the addition of the rail on Blood Covenant and seeing kind of how that plays into these two players and kind of the aggression again that we've been talking about. I can't quite put my finger on it. Who was the player that said you have to know when to be aggressive and not to be aggressive? We'll see. We'll see if that comes to.
I gotta say
Sorry,
one
go.
thing though, like this is a really unique map because we brought up the aggression, but you brought up the rail, right? Whereas like Wenger, I think, can be that long distance pot shotter, and that is very anti-aggression on this map, right? I mean, you've been in that position before where you want to get aggressive and you feel like your opponent is just a rat that is hitting every single one of those perfect angle rails every single time. So a clash here, right? I would expect that Cooler will dial it down just a little bit for that reason, because I think he respects the hell out of what Wenger can do here.
Yeah, there's nothing more disheartening than not only taking the damage, but getting stopped dead in your tracks as you're trying to chase from a rail. But it's also very high risk, high reward, because these champions are so fast that if you miss a rail, they will be up and in your face immediately, probably with shotgun or rockets out. So
Yeah,
I'm really looking
true.
forward to how this is going to play out. Blood Covenant map number 2 of the series. Let's get into it right now. I'm tired of waiting, Wheat.
I'm always tired of waiting when it comes to Quake. Just give me the next matchup. Let's do it. Yes, and it looks like we are about ready to go into this game, a map that we have seen for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
But with a
take us
twist.
away.
With a hint of lime. We're going to start off on Cooler right now. Again, on that slash versus the Anarchy. High speedy action here. Almost misses, well, misses both rails, almost misses the jump as well. 3 strikes and you might be out here, as he needs to be careful.
Yeah, that was
a lot.
that it was, right? 3 great opportunities to kind of do exactly what we said. Now, unfortunately, we just saw Cooler miss the rail jump, so he's actually without rail gun right now. It's like, I guess the shotgun will have to do. And as he goes up to jump at his opponent's there, he drops the injection, but Wenger's going to get the first frag as he uses his brain to pick up that first one. Cooler not expecting that one at all. It took heavy damage as he went up there. First frag is Wenger's.
Yeah, that was a little uncharacteristic to see 3 missed rails from Wenger, but then he comes back and plays something like that, a little bit more cool, calm, and collected, a bit of a trap at the rockets, and it nets him the first frag. So start. Now he's looking for more here as he has top control. Looking to try and hunt Cooler. Here's the jump, and it looks like he's going to be okay with just trading items.
Yeah, I think that if I was Wenger here, I would probably try to hyper focus on the rail as much as possible. He's going to allow Cooler to go ahead and get it right here. I'm not really sure he knows exactly where Cooler is. He's sneaking around the corner, but Cooler doesn't quite either. He's peeking with the zoom rail here, and we're going to have there it is. It does not hit. Once again, Wenger, if he was hitting this rail, this match would already be much, much different. But he's still in the lead right now, and we're going to have both power-ups or both major items coming up here at the same time. Oh, and he's going to give the heavy away, make his way. Oh, is he? Oh my gosh,
It's a
what
game
a
of cat and
standoff
mouse right now.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Cooler finally decides I'm going to go to Mega, and Wenger hears it, and he wants to do some damage. Almost missing out on the chance for damage here as the retaliation from Cooler will land. So players finally hitting their rails, hopefully warming up, and now there's a huge delay on the items. About 7 seconds, that's going to be enough to traverse the map, especially with these champions. That's a great rail from above. And another one is Cooler opening up this game in his favor. There's the LG, there's the trap. Will the rockets land? The shotgun to the face will net him the frag. Tied at 1.
Yeah, very nicely done. Tried to finish up with the LG there, but I think safe play to grab that shotgun and get the frag down. It's going to be 2-1. The Mega will be picked up, but Cooler knows that Heavy was about to spawn and grabs that as well. Now, how is Cooler going to try to keep control out of vengeur's hands? We're going to watch right here as he speedily makes his way over. He has an idea where Wenger is, and with that rocket, he knows exactly where he is now. He'll wait for the perfect shot. Wenger, though, going to slide his way over to Cooler's side. He flips right over the top of Cooler's head, and now he just, oh no, he comes back for it.
Ooh, good rocket to rail combo. Unfortunately, the rocket not doing a lot of damage, and Wenger with a volley of rails, and now he's going to be able to jump over and do even more damage potentially. There's one rail looking for another one. The Heavy will get taken by Cooler, and wow, I cannot believe he hit that. That vertical rail from the top, right on the noggin. As Wenger looking to maybe close this out. Cooler is stacking back up off the items in the pillar room, so stacks about even.
It is very, very low on both sides, which means that a single rail could go in the other's favor. And there it is. It's going to come out from Cooler. Wenger's going to immediately get out of there. There's no light for him to pick up there, but he goes right back over, grabs the light right next to Mega, and then that. So, you know, right back to both players are totally happy saying, all right, you go to your side, I'll go to my side, and we'll meet back in the middle yet again. But you mentioned how we were going to see a lot of speed on this particular map, and we are really seeing a really awesome display of movement here.
High flying rail action, just what we want here. Is now Wenger starts to slow down, wants to get a beat on where Cooler may be, and that rocket was so precise. Pops him right up. He's going to drop and get down to 50. But he's heavy, and that's smart. We saw Cooler do that earlier, actually, just running up the stairs. And two good rockets, good damage by Cooler, but Wenger will actually get that frag. Extremely weak, so Cooler should be able to get this Mega uncontested. But we earlier, I believe, Cooler used Inject and just ran up the stairs with Shotgun out after Wenger spawned, and that's just kind of a testament to how ballsy he was. He's like, look, I know you just spawned, you might have nail at best, but I'm getting in there, and I'm getting the frag, so more of that, please.
And I like it too. There we got another hit come down. Could Cooler pick it up? He does with an LG frag on the lower levels, making it 3-3 tied up yet again, keeping the excitement going hard as we hit the halfway point of this matchup. Wenger is actually going to hit after that Cooler rocket jump there, but very, very low. Takes a couple pot shots, about even stacks once again. Cooler's going to grab himself another rail, and he did need it, and both rails missing. Unfortunately, I mean, just we would have a much higher frag score game if these rails were getting hit, but I'm just going to shut up now because I make it sound like it's easy, and it's not. Especially with two champions with the movement like this. There's a beautiful rail.
Great rail there as Cooler will grab the Mega. Each player going kind of to their corner, as you alluded to earlier. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it is just as easy as just hit your shots. But with champs like this, super fast, tiny hitboxes, it is very, very difficult here. As, oh, this could be it, though. And there it is, the rocket pop to the LG. Good combo from Cooler there, taking the lead at 4-3.
That was just absolutely immaculate. I mean, when you watch from Cooler's perspective right there, he knew his opponent was still there, and he knew he would bounce him into the air. It was just perfectly executed to take the lead. Very, 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 very nicely done. So now Cooler just going to be holding off a little bit here. And let's see, going back up to the RL is, again, both players just kind of taking it easy. And this is what we were talking about earlier, you know, Cooler not saying, hey, I'm up one frag, I'm just going to go ultra aggressive. Both of the major items spawning right next to one another, so you kind of have to play it a little slower. And here we go again, another battle.
Those rockets not quite hitting their mark. He's getting a little bit of chip here and there, somehow avoiding that rail on his way out. The jump pad he goes, and ooh, Cooler missing a relatively easy rail there. A little bit of a strafe from Wenger to throw him off, and it works. As now Cooler goes up the jump pad, gives Wenger two freebies, maybe a third, almost. Cooler hanging on by a thread, Inject in 5. He just needs to try and stay alive with the cutoff in LG, and Cooler takes himself out with a rocket.
Oh, I feel like that is worst case scenario right there. Tied back up 3-3, but at a time when, oh, I mean, Cooler did grab the Mega, and actually still might be able to pull out A frag does get some machine gun damage, decides to back off just a little bit, throwing the tri-bolt out now. None of those hit. He's not done quite yet. He knows that he needs to get himself a rail gun, and Wenger is protecting it well. There's the machine gun coming out yet again. He's going to get right in his face. Wenger with the defensive rockets, and that's another reason why you can't go super aggro here on this map, but Wenger takes the lead,
inject.
4-3.
That's what I don't understand. He had inject. He could have popped it and tried to get a little bit more of that damage to get that frag. But now Wenger on the offensive, there's the inject on the way out. 4-3 in favor of the Italian Stallion here. 2 minutes left, and he's going to have the snail trail up for that extra speed and maybe a little bit of area of denial if he needs it, as he's kind of laying an egg on this heavy. That's going to open up Cooler for some damage here. LG's not going to reach. Swap to machine gun as both players chipping away, just peppering each other with bullets. And Wenger has to make his way over to this Mega, but he's not going to be there in time. So that rocket almost into rail combo. Wenger with that signature flick doesn't land this time. But man, that would have been pretty.
That was still so sick, and you know, I watched it from COOLLERZ perspective, and wow, that was nutty. I know that probably made him sweat just a little bit. Wenger on the top bridge now, dropping a couple rockets down. He's going to allow Cooler to go ahead and get that heavy, knowing though that Mega is up. Cooler on the hunt, going to get the LG at the columns, and suddenly we are tied back up 4-4 again with 1 minute left to go. And you know what? I bet you it will not go to overtime. I think we're going to see a frag before this minute's up, but who knows?
We might. Cooler trying to play off the sound cues, trying to figure out where to lay the trap. Was it LG or rockets? And finally gives up and says, you know what, heavy. I could cycle back to the Mega and deal some damage. There's a good rail from Wenger. Good return from Cooler. He's going to pop the inject for a little bit more insurance, and he hits the follow-up. And that might be it. 30 seconds. He doesn't have any armor. Never mind, a 50-shard spawns right in the nick of time, and now all the pressure is on Wenger.
Oh, that was just absolutely beautiful. I cannot believe he went after that with the frag, but he cannot be comfortable quite yet. As Cooler down on the lower level, he's got a reasonable stack, but Wenger knows, you know, hey, I got to take my shot here. And Cooler now on the run. He's going to head on down. He's just kind of running a quick little route here, and there it is. 10 minutes. Cooler takes one, 5-4.
Wow. Wow, just wow. He's out there listening to us, and he's like, I still got it, guys. What are you talking about? Like, what are you're talking about me like I don't listen to you guys.
I couple people chat like, yeah, Wheat's not biased. Hey, you know what? I'm biased for good Quake, and that is what we just saw. So give me that all day. I don't care who wins, who loses. That was awesome. We got to see Wenger play an incredible game. You know, mid-game there, he hit those sick rails from the columns. Cooler there at the end. Like, that's just not a move that you would expect a player to make, especially after eating 2 rails. You just don't expect that. So, awesome game. I'm so excited that we're tied 1-1 here, and we don't know who's going to take this series. Beautifully done. That was great.
Yeah, just really good series. Right here is just, why not use the inject? 8 HP from Wenger. The inject may have given him just enough to get around the corner and get that frag. But I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter because he still came out on top. But just a great map from both these players.
Yeah, and there it was at the end, the inject, and then 2 rails returned in a row. I mean, Wenger hitting those 2 rails too. I thought, oh, well, there it is. Like, he's just gonna, you know, he can just crouch slide quickly over there and finish it off. But crazy. I wish I had confidence in my ability to hit shots like that the way that these players do, because it is insane.
All right,
Love
so
it.
a little bit of practice. GJ Wheat's going through challengers, and you guys can follow the action at quake.pglesports.com to see his progress. No,
Negative.
Yeah, I think Cooler kind of knew the Mega was up. He kind of had that opening rail, and he was like, I'm going to inject. I put myself out of rail territory, and I'm just going to go in, and that's exactly what he did. And it worked out, and he took that map, and it was a really close one, and it was fantastic to see, as now the third and final map of the series on Molten. We got Visor and we got Ranger. Any thoughts on this one, Weed?
You know, maybe just a little bit in terms of mobility on Wenger's side, but you know, Cooler kind of getting the, like, you know, free hide and seek pass card, right? Like I don't know. So ultimately I feel like it comes down to how are these players playing right now? Well, Cooler didn't back off on his aggression. So staying in the lead, I think that he'll be very comfortable on this map. But we've seen Wenger do amazing things along with his teammate Razy on this map too. So it's hard to say. I like that we're here at game 3, and I'm like, I don't know. It is like you've been saying all day, 40. It's any given Sunday. I think either of these players could walk out of here, and so yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
Outside
I'm
of that.
excited. It's a good problem to have, to not know who's going to come out on top. I think
Yes, it
Wenger is
is.
going to try and use that orb to maybe do some burst damage like we've seen before, because the burst ability from close is huge. But enough guessing. Let's get into it. This is map number 3, the last one for this series. COOLLER versus Wenger on Molten Falls. Let's go. COOLLER first on the Mega right now, trying to get rockets immediately.
Yeah, I'm just really excited here to see what's going to happen. Cooler's immediately going to pop the piercing sight just to get an idea. Where is my opponent? What could they have picked up? What weapons could they have? I kind of like that. That's good. But Wenger playing this one. There we see the Tri-Bolt coming on. I know you guys were talking about that earlier with Rafa, and we do see it in the NA a lot. But Cooler using it right here. Down to 67 points of health. Knows that Wenger's low as well. So it's going to be a battle as we got the Mega picked up by Wenger, and then that heavy is there, and Cooler fought for it, and he got to take it.
Yeah, so items traded out. Vision is back for COOLLER. And I think in that specific situation, the Tri-Bolt is perfect. Lob it over the edge of the stairs, kind of flush out your opponent. Wenger did get a rail or 2, I think, from that angle, but it's really hard to hit that shot. And now
Yeah.
COOLLER lying in wait here, saving the vision. He's going to pop it and go through, and this could be a trap, but instead he knows that Mega's up first, but the delay is not going to be big enough for him to really get there to do any damage, so maybe on the exit he's going to set up a trap here.
Yep, and there it is. He misses that rocket, pops the second one, only 15 damage there, and actually Wenger got a huge part of that battle and is going to make it back over to Mega, but it is a long time before that actually spawns, and Cooler is hurting here, and he will go down to Wenger's LG. Wenger, he could feel it, right? I think he could actually smell a little bit of that blood as well, and Wenger now is going to be up 1-0. I feel like that was played very nicely by Wenger.
Ooh, pushes in just a pixel rail around the corner. Well done from Wenger to add yet another frag. Is that aggression coming out after the spawn here, making sure COOLLER can't really get his footing. He will grab the Mega. And Wenger lying in wait on this LG. Doesn't want to give it up for free. COOLLER already has one, so he needs to be careful, though. There's the orb. Is he going to take it? No, a little bit of misdirection. There's a rail, as COOLLER just caught sitting and staring. Deer in headlights.
Yeah, and Wenger's holding on to that orb like it's $100 bill. He's got it. He knows when he wants to spend it, and he's definitely looking for the right opportunities to do that. Great misdirection there to the rail that we just saw right there. And I like how Wenger is playing this one. He's really not giving COOLLER too much room, but more importantly, he's hitting the shots that he needed to hit. There we got orb coming out yet again. COOLLER not going to back off, and the Tri-Bolt damage is not going to come out. Now we got to fight down below. This time Wenger on the bottom. They're going to switch spots. Wenger peeking over to try to get a rail, and he gets hit down to 33 points of health, and he is going to hightail it out of there.
Yeah, they're just trading places here, as well as trading items, and they kind of look like perfect strangers. 2-0 still for Wenger. And I like what he's doing with the orb, because not only is he just using it as a distraction, but he's also setting up for a play later down in the game, where he's actually going to take the orb, because COOLLER's going to think, okay, he throws it and he never takes it. But there's going to be one time where you're going to see Wenger throw it out and actually take it, and it's going to absolutely catch COOLLER off guard.
Hey, I mean, play mind games versus someone who's one of the best at them. And waiting for that Mega health just a few seconds early to the bus stop, and instead of getting on the bus hit him, and Wenger is now up 3-0 now early on. And what I would worry about, 40, is if Wenger pulls off, maybe frag 4, frag 5, I would worry about maybe watching COOLLER get a little bit too aggro. But right now, Wenger has an absolute grasp on this map right now. He is just killing it.
And that little dire play getting that extra splash damage after that rocket. COOLLER does end up stealing it, but Wenger trying to hold his ground on this 50 shard, and COOLLER is willing to die for it as he pushes in, gets Wenger a little bit weak, but he's going to be able to stack back up relatively quickly, and the heavy is going to be at his disposal. So as you said, the lead kind of slipping away here. Still doable, but COOLLER needs to be careful. He's trying to rain down damage with these rockets, and at the very least forces Wenger off the heavy, so that's going to be a decent start. Orb's going to be back for Wenger, just in case he needs to escape, and he sure does. 17 HP, but that defensive rocket into the Mega is going to be huge, and he just turned this completely on its ass.
I mean, that is right. When you are playing against an aggressive player, those are exactly the shots that you are hoping you are going to make. Like, yep, chase me, because I'm going to have this perfect shot on a rocket. If you continue to take this path, you come after me. Right, whereas like the dire orb can change things up a little bit. Piercing sight's not really doing much to help out in that regard. So nicely played by Wenger, making the right decision. You know, you could feel it in COOLLERZ bones too. Wait, rail hit, second one there, the dire orb comes out. He's not going to take it yet again, and both players have to back off again. We're halfway through this map, and you know, COOLLERZ definitely slowed it down just a little bit, because he knows too, don't want to see 5-0. That's going to be hard to come back from.
Yeah, that might be the final nail in the coffin. I really would have liked to see Wenger take that dire orb of all of them, because he got him so incredibly weak, as now he's fighting COOLLER, trying to bully him off this heavy. He does eat a rail, but does claim the heavy, and he's going to try and get to the Mega now. COOLLER trying to cut him off. Visions pop, so he's going to have some semblance of data on where he is, but can't land the rails, and there's the rocket jump up. Good defensive rocket from COOLLER, but the LG is just too strong, the stack too big from Wenger.
And there it is. Is this going to be the turning point of the game for the Lions? And hypothetically, the series, right? Both players tied 1-1 here. Winner will take the match overall, and of course, the money that goes with it. And that time we do have taking the dire more for an escape here. COOLLER, jumping from one ledge to the next. He gets LG'd all the way down and follows up with the rails, 6-0. This is starting to look pretty bad for the King.
This is looking rough here. As Wenger 6-0, no signs of stopping. And he's just playing this super well. There's a good rail from COOLLER. That's going to send Wenger packing. And there isn't a major item for 12 seconds. So this is where COOLLER really needs to put pedal to the metal. Doesn't have vision, but he just has to trust in his timing and start attacking here, as Wenger has nothing really. 100 HP, no armor, good defensive rocket, and Wenger's just going to take his leave. He's like, I have a 6 frag lead. I don't need to fight you. I have nothing to prove. I've already proved it 6 times.
Yeah, and you know, he could probably have some room to play with here too. As nice bait through the teleporter, even gets some damage off on that one. Pretty low, picks up a light. But I mean, just based off of what we're seeing from Wenger here, he's playing the same game. He's committed to the same strategy that he started off from the beginning. Hit my shots, control these areas, and you know, he's doing all the things that you need to do to just win a straight up Quake matchup against a player like COOLLER. And you know, not getting overly aggressive, letting COOLLER kind of come to him in some regards. So, you know, again, not going to call this one quite yet, even though it's probably over. I think looking at it more macro sense of the entire series, both players played great. Wenger definitely, you know, the player who stepped it up this weekend with their play.
Absolutely. If you look, items are about even. The main difference here is Wenger's LG is absolutely incredible, doing about 700 more damage. And he's catching COOLLER in like situations like that where COOLLER's just plus forwarding and he's just getting floated with LG. That one will become a trade, but still, 7 frag lead for Wenger. This one's pretty much signed and sealed. But yeah, Wenger with it playing a great set. COOLLER, it was close at the very beginning, but this map kind of got away from him.
Yeah, and that's, you know, unfortunate, but I think it just goes to show, especially at the top level on the EU side, like there are some beast players. And we continuously get to see some of these amazing games over and over again. And we've got another one coming up next. So, you know, make sure you stick around between the break, because Avic and Wenger's teammate, Razy, are also going to be playing to cap off the day for week 3 here. of the QPL. And Wenger is a player. We said it at the end of the Quake World Championships, like just how amazing he played, how well he did, and how much potential he has. It's great to see him continue on here. And you know what, 40, I want to see more of this cooler. This is the cooler that I want to see week to week for sure.
And I think it's more than probable. You just got to dial it in a little bit. And Wenger with a great rail right there, 9-1. Again, no sign of sting, similar to Rafa. He's like, I'm going to play it until I see double zeros. But yeah, fantastic series. Sundays are for Quake. All right?
Yep.
Sundays are for Quake. You love to see it. I'm excited to hopefully see more of the 2 new maps in the pool that
Me too.
replaced Blood Run and Veil. So much dry bolt right there. Can he finish it off? There's the Dire Orb. And he still doesn't take it. Wenger he doesn't take Dire Orbs. Let it be known. I thought he was at least going to take one. It looks like he didn't take any this whole game. But 9-1, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he knows something I don't. Maybe it's not worth taking Dire Orb.
I think it's really interesting to see sort of like the mental aspect of that ability, right? I mean, you called it exactly what it is: misdirection. Think I'm going to do this, position yourself in a way where you're going to try to cut me off. I don't actually take it. In the heat of a fight, it's great. In a situation like that where, he was almost dead, even better, completely throw your opponent off. Just great play all around.
Sure, but enough of NA ramblings. Let's get ZSX back in here and get some EU perspective on his brethren here. As ZSX, how do you feel about what we just witnessed?
EU for the win, boys. Had to have you guys commentating to see that spectacular blessing of skill. Hi, I'm back. Did you miss me?
I did. You're very handsome.
I thought so. But it was good, and it's nice to see COOLLERZ actually looking a bit back on track. He was very rusty the first few weeks, but he came back. I didn't expect him to play as well as he did, and every map was actually close. He obviously took a map, and even the final map was close, and it kept the pressure on throughout, which was admirable.
Yeah.
So in terms of Dire Orb plays, does that kind of surprise you, where it was just purely misdirection and didn't really take any of the Dire Orbs? I think it was an opportunity, right? You use the Dire Orb, you throw it out, and then that opens up a possibility where if I hit a follow-up rail, maybe machine gun damage, by the time it gets to where I could pounce, maybe I'll take it.
Exactly, it's an option, right? And it, as you say, it is misdirection. It's a more unusual way to do it, and Wenger often errs on the side of caution than being aggressive, and so, as you rightly said, it's send it out as an option. If I then hit the shot, I follow it and I finish the job. If I don't, then I'll just play my game. And he didn't need to take a lot of those orbs anyway, because he didn't need to extend his lead, and it was keeping COOLLERZ on the back foot the whole time.
Yeah, and again, like a lot of the times he would catch COOLLERZ out, coming through doorways, coming straight at him with LG, and just doing tremendous amounts of damage. And yeah, just really well played from vengeurR.
Yeah, Wenger's rail was definitely, in my opinion, like more on this game. I mean, we saw some great rails out of him in game 2, but all the rails that he needed to hit, and then also just talk a little bit about some of those defensive rockets, right? I mean, just let COOLLERZ play right into his hand with that aggressiveness. So great way to end it up 1-9, and vengeurR definitely deserved that series overall.
Look at that LG, man. 900 plus damage on the LG alone. I mean, admittedly using it a ton more than COOLLERZ did, but just specifically in those corridor situations where COOLLERZ was, jumping down on items and stuff like that, that's exactly where you want the LG. Just such good use of it from vengeurR.
You can see across the board, actually, all weapon usage is far higher, and that just shows the way in which vengeurR plays. He's always the one taking initiative, getting the opening damage, so that's why his weapon usage is also much higher.
Yeah, because the items were kind of about even, not too bad. I mean, in favor of vengeurR definitely, but except for the mega. But overall, like you said, the damage, the versatility of the weapons, getting that opening damage, that was huge for the Italian. So I guess, you guys were right. 2-1. I guess I have to say that
3-0. So
yeah. Let's make sure we point this out that ZSX said 3-0.
All right.
I was nearly right. Come on now.
I mean, you were right with your overall prediction, and that's really what what counts, right? But
I'm not
just
taking
like
your
I said,
scraps, sweet.
I'm just excited we got to see the games that we saw, because, believe you me, I think that vengeurR is possible of just some straight up 3-0 deletions, and it was nice to see COOLLERZ come and play some good Quake. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stress enough how much I can't wait to see all these players kind of add the new maps into the mix. I think they're kind of hesitant. We saw Kilson and Sparty on Tower of Koth earlier. I think most of the players are probably waiting until they get a little more firmed up on their strategies for these maps. But like, can you imagine Cooler and like Wenger on Deep Embrace? That map is so good. And it looks so good that I just can't wait for the weeks to come, and hopefully we get to see those maps a lot with these players and the champion diversity, and just see kind of what crazy stuff people can come up with.
Yeah, I wish we would have seen him too. I mean, like it's easy for me to say sitting here commentating, but like, just force it one week. Just like
Yeah.
let's
Just
do
risk
it.
your money
Let's
for
jam.
me, for my dance for me,
Yeah.
clown.
Yeah, we're gonna give you both a pick, and then we're just gonna force a third. No, that's not how we do it here. But yeah, I agree with you. Right, there's a comfort level. I'm sure many have been practicing, and you could practice it all week long, 24/7, but it could just be banned too.
Yeah.
So use that information to your advantage. I would eventually believe that we get to a point where it may not be advantageous to just ban out the new map, because you might let a really, or map that might be great for another player like slip through. So
Yeah, I mean, on that point, like we've seen basically the new maps banned straight up every time, so it's opened the pool up a little bit for people to pick their more comfort maps, which is one of the reasons why we've seen such great and close games today as well.
Sure. But for
Very
the
true.
time being, let's get a word with the winner. I believe we have Wenger ready for our interview.
awesome.
Hey,
Hello.
how you
Bonjour,
doing,
What's up?
buddy?
How are you doing?
You've been growing your beard. You look really old now.
Yeah, you see now I look 22
Yeah,
instead
I can
of
see
20.
I can see your mustache coming through.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
First off, congratulations, man. How do you feel?
I feel really good. I was in a good state of mind going to the matchup. I knew that COOLLERZ is always a tough opponent, and that's what I've been learning in the past 3 years, that no matter what, he can always show up his best game. So I was just focused as much as I could, and I managed to win.
I guess-
What do you think he brought his best game? You think he brought a cooler game this series?
I think he played really well, actually. Just the last map, some situation didn't work out for him, and I managed to get advantage and some few spawn frags and got a good lead. But on the first and the second map, I think he played really solid. So, yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question about the second map? The end of the second map, you landed 2 rails, and then he ends up injecting and landing 2 of his own. Were you expecting him to come back out and peek after the 2 rails that you landed?
I knew that he had the injection, so I knew he could go for that risk. I was not really expecting it, but at the same time, I was like not like super surprised. I was like, it was a risky play for both of us.
Right.
It worked for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're really confused 40, so I'll ask him for you. Were you actively using your orbs as misdirection, or were they how are you using your orbs on that
I
last
gotta
map?
know, man. I gotta know.
That's Venga's strategy. You cannot tell.
You're so mysterious.
Okay. You gotta pay your Maestro dues to get that information on the website. Okay, I get it.
No, sometimes it's good to throw your opponent off a little bit by faking orbs and try to mix your gameplay a little bit with rocket jumps and stuff. I think it's really fun to do, first of all, and it can work strategically, so why not?
I think when last time we interviewed you, you said you're going to be working on being more aggressive. How's that been working out for you?
Well, it depends against the player. COOLLERZ is someone who can take advantage of your mistakes, so you cannot really go full aggro. You need to find a balance somehow. I felt I played a bit risky sometimes, especially in the second map, and it didn't pay off, as you saw. But in the third map, instead, it paid off. I'm trying always to mix some stuff up. It really depends also against who you are playing. And if COOLLERZ is playing really good, he can punish you, and you need to be careful of that.
Is there anyone you're scared of playing in the league now?
I've never been scared of anyone. There are some matchups that probably don't really fit me. Like, for example, I think Avec, when he's playing this best, he's a really tough opponent to face, racy, and so on. But I'm really happy that I managed to win the first 2 games for me, and they were Kilson and COOLLERZ. So I feel really relieved about that.
Nice.
So how do you feel about the new maps? Have you had a chance to start practicing them, even if you're not going to use them kind of as a pick? Do you feel comfortable yet, or are you still working out some strategies and stuff like that?
To be fair, I wanted to play Deep Embrace this week, but it got banned, so didn't have the chance to
Trust
do
me,
so.
I wanted to see it, man. I'm looking forward to it. That map looks so good.
I'm gonna bring it next week.
Yeah, do it.
I will.
Good.
Yeah, okay.
Just gave away your strats, bro.
Yeah,
No.
that's getting banned. That's getting tossed.
I think they are really different maps in the way to approach them. One is much bigger than the other, but at the same time, more vials, more stuff to do. The other one is kind of reminds me of Awoken a little bit. I think Deep Embrace can be really probably in the top 3 maps for me. Really, really nice map.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Well, we're not going to take up more of your time. Congratulations
Congrats,
again.
man.
Getting all that
Thank you.
money. And yeah, we'll probably see you soon. I have this feeling that
Thank
we'll
you,
be
guys.
seeing a lot of you.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys. Thank you.
Yep. And we got one more set coming up. So hang, guys, grab some energy drinks, snacks, whatever you need, because we're almost there. But we got a big one coming up. Avik Razy to close out the day of frags. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.